Orkney Islands. I hopped on a bus excursion from the cruise port in Kirkwall on Scotland's Orkney Islands. The destinations included Scapa Flow and the UNESCO World Heritage Sites of Skara Brae, the Standing Stones of Stenness, and the Ring of Brodgar. This video will include these destinations and a visit to the town of Kirkwall. The bus excursion was booked as part of an Oceania cruise called Celts, Scots, and Vikings. We first drove through the city of Kirkwall by the St Magnus Cathedral, which was built in 1137. More on the cathedral later. We passed through miles of green farmland with sheep and cows spotting the landscape. We drove alongside the Scapa Flow Bay, which is a body of water that has played an important role in travel, trade, and conflict throughout the centuries. Our first stop was at Skara Brae and Skaill House. When you arrive, you immediately walk into a visitor center, which includes a museum with displays, a video with an overview of the site, a cafe, and gift shop. I thought the video was a great introduction to what we were about to see. From the visitor center, you walk through an underground communal dwelling. It is a small sod-covered room showing how the Neolithic villagers lived. The room had stone beds, shelves, seats, and a fire pit. From there, you enter a fenced lawn and then down a path to the ocean. And what a beautiful coastline! Along the path are markers that created a timeline through history, leading up to Skara Brae. Next to the shore is the unearthed Neolithic Stone Age village, which was an entire community. It is a relatively small village and was covered in sand for centuries until the wind eventually revealed it. Although no one knows for sure, there is a theory that the ancient people abandoned the village because of weather change and blowing sand. The village has been excavated so you can look down into these 5,000-year-old dwellings. There are markers along the path to indicate how each room was used, such as workshop or bedroom. It was interesting to view this archaeological dig and see the way the upper layer of grass contributes to its current stability. There is also a small building on site that has a very tiny room with a few more displays. I especially like this depiction of how the Neolithic people might have lived. The view from the coast is spectacular, and there was always a refreshing breeze blowing and a few raindrops. As I continued following the path, it took me by fields of livestock to Skaill House, which overlooks the beautiful Bay of Skaill. It is considered the finest 17th century mansion in Orkney. For me, the best parts of the house visit were the beautiful garden outside and a display of Captain Cook's dishware. The rest of the house consisted of various rooms, including this lovely pink bathroom and this cozy living room. We had time to visit the cafe and gift shop. I grabbed some food and enjoyed a picnic bench overlooking the coastline. So that completed the visit to Skara Brae. All in all, it is a picturesque setting with a very interesting history. Our next destination was the Ring of Brodgar. It is quite a mystical site. There is a ring of tall vertical sandstones, the ring being over 100 meters in diameter. About half of the stones are still standing from 2700 BC. In 1980, 13 stones were added. There is a ditch surrounding the ring that is estimated to have taken 80,000 hours to dig. No one knows what the ring or ditch is for. Some of the theories are it symbolizes eternity, or it was constructed for ceremonies involving farming, or it was simply a yearly clock. The stones come from 7 different locations on the mainland of Orkney, which is fascinating when you consider what it must have taken to transport the heavy sandstone slabs in Neolithic times. The stones are surrounded by 2 bodies of water, Stenness Loch and Harry Loch. Another scenic setting. Back on the bus, we drove a short distance to the Standing Stones of Stenness. It is the remains of one of the oldest stone circles in the country, raised about 5,000 years ago. To put that in perspective, they are 1,000 years older than Stonehenge. We only stayed a short time here, enough to get our pictures taken by the large slabs of stone. Then it was back to the cruise port. When the tour ended, I immediately hopped on a shuttle to downtown Kirkwall. I didn't have much time, but I wanted to see a few sights in Kirkwall. First, I walked to St Magnus Cathedral, which the bus had driven by earlier. I was glad I made the effort. It is a very pretty cathedral, made with several different kinds of the local sandstone. You can see certain areas where the stone is eroded. When you enter the grand doors of the church, your eyes are pulled to the beautifully arched ceilings. There are stone tablets and other carvings lining the side walls, and many colorful stained glass windows. Here are a few more images from the inside. Outside is a cemetery that wraps around at both sides of the cathedral. I then headed to the Tankerness House Gardens, but spotted the Orkney Museum on the way, so I decided to pop in there. The museum's current exhibit was called Ring of Brodgar and centered around the archaeological digs of Brodgar, which I had just seen, so I didn't spend much time there. Around the corner were the Tankerness House Gardens, which weren't too impressive, but had an interesting sandstone rock garden. I then headed back to the shuttle bus, spotting a shopping district and the local library on my way. When I got back to the ship, there were some local dancers performing on the cruise port. What a wonderful way to be sent off, and a great way for the young dancers to capture an audience. Very fun, and a testament to the friendliness of the locals of Orkney. So that was it for my visit to the Orkney Islands. As always, if you have questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. I have posted additional videos on Scotland and other destinations from this journey. There are now 2 new resources for senior and solo travelers, the Senior Solo Travel website and the new Facebook forum where you can interact with other senior and solo travelers. I have left links to all the sites and videos in the description, so check it out. And if you'd like to follow my senior and solo travel journeys, please like and subscribe. Cheers!